You're listening to the Minutes on Growth podcast, the show that brings you mindfully curated insights into relationships, spirituality, personal development, and everything in between, with your host, Tannaz Hosseinpour. Hi, soul friends, it's Tannaz Hosseinpour, and welcome back to another short solo episode of Minutes on Growth. I apologize for the delay in releasing this episode. Arzen and I just wrapped up hosting an amazing manifestation retreat in Mykonos, Greece, where we spent 5 days diving deep into the subconscious mind and all things related to the art of manifestation. It was truly magical watching the girls learn about and use the tools to manifest their desires, and since then, they've been updating us on their successes. I've documented the highlights on my social media page, so please do check it out if you're interested in learning more about our upcoming retreats. So, coming back to our topic of the day. We started our manifestation podcast series by first introducing the inner critic, the role it plays in our life, and how important it is for us to declutter what no longer serves us, especially our limiting thoughts, our limiting opinions, perceptions, and beliefs, so that we can create space for that which does serve us. And then last episode, we focused on the do's and don'ts of manifesting. This episode, I want to break down the 5 steps of manifesting that I've used over and over again to consciously manifest my dreams with more ease and grace. And I've taught these 5 steps to hundreds of people around the world, and they've shared their successes with me, and that is why I want to share it with you. Now, just a reminder that we are manifesting 24/7, whether we're conscious of it or not. So the steps that I'm referring to are steps for conscious manifesting, meaning that instead of manifesting on autopilot mode, we are manifesting with an intention in mind. So let's begin. The first step in the 5-step process is to gain clarity. It is super important to have clarity over that which we truly want. Now, you might be thinking that this step is a given, but you'd be surprised as to how many people pursue dreams that don't belong to them. They pursue their parents' vision or society's dreams instead of their own. And when a desire doesn't truly stem from us, from our soul, the chances of us being disciplined and driven with it significantly drops. When we have clarity, we know the destination on our map. So pull out your journals. You know, I love to journal. And take a moment with these journal prompts and reflect on them. Don't force the answers. Just sit with the question. The first question is, what do I not want? When we are talking about our desires, a method that can really help bring clarity is to first gain awareness on that which we do not want to entertain in our life. So take a moment and ask yourself, what do I not want in my experience of reality? The second prompt is, if failure was not an option, what would I do? Our soul has big dreams, and we have all the tools within us to manifest them into the physical realm, but fear oftentimes prevents us from pursuing our potential. So if the fear of failure was not an option, what would you pursue? What would you desire? Next, I want you to reflect on, if I had unlimited money and resources, how would I spend my time? So if you didn't have to worry about paying the bills and you had all the support in the world, what would you be doing? The next one is, what vision makes my heart smile? You know, when you're daydreaming and you think about that idea and you just can't stop yourself from smiling, it's as if your whole body becomes warm. And then sit with this last one of, what is the universe's vision for my life? Who am I meant to be? Again, don't seek the answers. Don't force the answers. Just let them flow through you. See what comes out of the pen. Once you have some answers, I want you to put on your detective hat and see how the answers feel in your body. Our bodies are super intuitive, and while our mind can trick us into thinking that a desire belongs to us, the body is our go-to when seeking confirmation. So write down a list of everything that you desire and then ask yourself, why? Why do I want this? And keep asking yourself this question until you get to the root of the desire. Then visualize it, sense it. Does it bring you happiness? How does the desire feel in your body? Does it spark joy or does it spark fear? Does it feel expansive? Does it feel warm and fuzzy? Or do you feel as if your body's contracting? Does it give you anxiety thinking about it? Does this desire make you feel inspired to serve others? When we're consciously manifesting, we want to make sure that the desire serves the highest good of all, and that is why the element of serving must be present. And if it truly belongs to you and feels good in your body, then how willing are you to make it happen? Also remember, the human mind bases desires on past experiences, so don't focus on what is and what is not possible. Just strive for your desire. Once we have clarity over our desires, the second step is to simply ask. The old saying is, ask and it is given. The same applies here. Because of the concept of free will, the universe cannot grant us that which we're seeking unless we've expressed our desire for it. In this step, it's important to ask with certainty, meaning that when you're expressing your desire, to have full certainty that if it is for the highest good of all, that the universe will assist you in consciously manifesting it into the physical realm. One thing to remember is that when we're asking, we want to be asking from a place of presence and not from lack. The universe speaks in energy. So if we're coming from a place of reactivity and lack, the universe will mirror that energy. To give you a practical example, if you want to manifest more money into your account, you need to shift your money mindset first and ensure you're not operating from a scarcity mindset, but rather an abundant mindset. Side note, and I love saying this over and over again because it is true. If a desire exists within you, it is meant to be manifested through you and by you. So trust the presence of the desire. It has a purpose. Once you trust that the desire is meant for you, then the chances of you accepting it as doable increases. And for conscious manifestation to work, you need to expand your mind to truly believe that you can have it. So once we have clarity over our desires and we've asked for them, and I love to ask by writing it down. I always think of it as signing a contract with the universe. The third step is to surrender and to practice having certainty. This is what we call a spiritual release, meaning that we recognize that we are co-creators with the universe and not sole creators. We want to walk in trust and certainty that the universe is always working on our behalf. We want to trust that the universe supports us and has our back. More importantly, it's super important to surrender because when we try to control or manipulate our manifestations, our energy becomes frantic and needy. And as I mentioned in the previous step, we want to be coming from an energetic space of trust, calmness, and presence. A tip to help you practice surrender more is to remember that there are 4 levels of consciousness when experiencing reality. The first is that the world is happening to me, meaning everything is happening to me, which is a very victimhood consciousness state of being. The second is that the world is happening for me. Everything is happening for me, for my highest good. The third and fourth are life is happening as me and through me. I want you to focus on the second one. Life is happening for me. Whenever a perceived challenge comes up, and there will always be challenges along the way, by the way, remember that life is happening for you and not to you. Try to pause. Try to shift your perspective and to see the light instead. To see solutions where you would normally see problems. To see the light where you would normally see darkness. One of my favorite Kabbalistic tools is the concept of pause, what a pleasure. Whenever a situation arises that is challenging, I always pause and say out loud, what a pleasure. That pause really allows me space and time to shift the way I'm seeing things and to return to a place of surrender and trust. Once we've surrendered, then the fourth step is to take inspired action. When the book The Secret came out, everyone was a little bit confused as to how the manifestation process works. So we just think good thoughts and things will come to us. Many tried it out and were disappointed when it didn't work out. And the reason is that the movie didn't dive into this fourth step, which is taking action. The word attraction literally has the word action in it, meaning we need to put an effort for that which we want to bring into the physical realm. And we do that by showing up to the best of our ability every single day. Now, our best might look different every day depending on our mental and physical health, but the goal here is to be honest with ourselves. We want to really practice the value of integrity and to show up honestly to what that best looks like. We also take action by practicing self-love, meaning that we build daily habits and routines that serve our mind, body, and soul. For example, by incorporating daily meditation, yoga, grounding, journaling, breath work, reading, exercising into our day. Remember, the quickest way to alter your mental state is by changing your physiological state. So when we move our body, we're getting our mind ready to show up and perform to the best of its ability. We also take inspired action by practicing gratitude and focusing on what we do have so that we can attract more of it into our present moment. Lastly, we want to ensure that we're surrounding ourselves with people who believe in us and who believe in our dreams. And the best way to do that, honestly, is to surround yourself with people who have already manifested that which you want to attract. When we surround ourselves with people who have normalized our desires, it is much easier for our mind to get into the state of believing that it's probable for us to have it too. And if we can believe it, we can achieve it. So these are the 4 steps, which brings us to the last step. The 5th and final step is to practice embodying that which we want to manifest. Take a moment to ask yourself how your life will change once your desires come to life. Then ask yourself how you're going to show up to your life once it does. How will you walk? How will you talk? How will you think? How will you act? How will you dress? The practice of embodiment is to mirror and embody that future self in the present moment, in the now. Have you ever heard someone say, once I get this, I'll do X, Y, and Z? Embodiment is practicing X, Y, and Z before you get it. It's all about embodying our higher self in the present moment as if that which we want to manifest has already happened and we are super grateful for it. Because guess what? In the metaphysical realm, that which we are seeking already has manifested. I'd like to just take a quick moment and remind you that embodying our higher self or practicing gratitude does not mean that we suppress any emotion that isn't joy. It is super important to feel every emotion that arises in us because they are all messengers that give us insight into our internal state. But the goal is to not get attached to them or to not identify with them. We want to feel our feelings and let them flow through us. Because what we resist persists. So embodiment is all about being a clear channel for emotions to flow through us. So they come in and they go out. Once that channel, that vessel is clear, then creativity can flow through us with more ease and grace. And the manifestation process feels smoother. I hope that you have found these 5 steps useful and that you do utilize them in consciously manifesting your desires. I want to leave you soul friends with this reminder. We are vibrational beings, so it is imperative for us to become vibrationally aligned with that which we want to manifest. So here's to you manifesting all that serves your good and the highest good of all. Thank you for listening. Happy manifesting. Speak soon. Thank you for joining us this week on Minutes on Growth. If you enjoyed today's episode, then make sure you never miss a show by clicking the subscribe button now.